Nobel Laureate being convicted in his home country. I'm talking about Muhammad Yunus, who is Bangladesh's leading social worker, development guru of sorts. This is unfortunately such a shameful assault on both democracy and human rights. Muhammad Yunus, often referred to as the banker to the poor, gained international acclaim for his groundbreaking work in microfinance. Yunus and Grameen Bank were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their significant contributions to poverty reduction. In Bangladesh, particularly under the current Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, has become increasingly authoritarian. The rift between Yunus and PM Hasina dates back to Yunus's consideration of forming a political party. Hello and welcome back to New Wave Global. And I'm going to be talking about this most worrying case of a Nobel laureate being convicted in his home country. I'm talking about Muhammad Yunus, who is Bangladesh's leading social worker, development guru of sorts. And this is unfortunately such a shameful assault on both democracy and human rights and those who are practicing international development. The recent conviction of Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus in Bangladesh has sent shockwaves through the international community. The 83-year-old economist, renowned for his pioneering work in microfinance through Grameen Bank, was sentenced to 6 months in jail for violating the country's labor laws. The trial has been widely criticized as politically motivated, raising concerns about the state of democracy, human rights, and the judicial system in Bangladesh. Now, that is no different, unfortunately, from other countries in South Asia, uh, like Pakistan or India. But we'll talk about that later. Muhammad Yunus, often referred to as the banker to the poor, gained international acclaim for his groundbreaking work in microfinance. His innovative approach involved providing small loans to the impoverished, allowing them to start businesses and improve their economic conditions. In 2006, Yunus and Grameen Bank were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their significant contributions to poverty reduction. However, despite his global recognition, Yunus has faced increasing scrutiny and legal challenges within his home country. Sadly, the political landscape in Bangladesh, particularly under the current Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, has become increasingly authoritarian. The rift between Yunus and PM Hasina dates back to Yunus's consideration of forming a political party, which he wanted to call citizen power, during a period of political conflict between Hasina's Awami League political party and the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, the BNP, the two major parties that have been ruling Bangladesh since its independence. Although Yunus abandoned his political ambitions, Hasina's administration initiated investigation into his activities, including the operations of Grameen Bank. Prime Minister Hasina has been vocal in her criticism of Yunus, accusing him of sucking blood from the poor. Such inflammatory language suggests a personal animosity between the two figures. The accusations against Yunus included labor law violations, graft, and charging exorbitant interest rates through the Grameen Bank, which is a microfinance bank, makes very small loans so that the poor can find businesses, etc. As I mentioned earlier. So the accusations on Yunus, combined with the recent verdict, raise questions about Bangladesh government's intentions and its commitment to due legal process. This recent conviction stems from allegations that Yunus and three of his colleagues from Grameen Telecom failed to create a welfare fund for their workers, violating Bangladesh's labor laws. The court sentenced each of them to 6 months in jail. However, all four were granted bail pending appeals. Yunus maintains his innocence and declared the verdict contrary to legal precedent and logic. His legal team argues that the judgment was rushed through without following the due legal process, indicating a lack of fairness in the trial. And the unprecedented nature of this judgment, as claimed by Abdullah Mamoon, one of Yunus's lawyers, raises concerns about the impartiality of the judiciary and the potential damage to Yunus's international reputation. Now, Sheikh Hasina, just to give you a context, is a very strong figure. She's the daughter of country's founding father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and she has been in power since 2014. And she has even earlier she has ruled the country, and she has really changed the way institutions work. She packed the Supreme Court and the High Court of Bangladesh with her loyal appointees. She made changes to the army, and she has this complete control over state institutions and power. After Yunus's conviction, the international community has expressed quite obviously widespread concern over such legal troubles. 170 global figures, including former US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, Richard Branson, and Bono, signed a letter in August urging PM Hasina to stop the persecution of Yunus. The letter highlighted the continuous judicial harassment Yunus faced, further emphasizing the global recognition of his contributions. Irene Khan, the former head of Amnesty International and current UN Special Rapporteur, characterized the conviction as a travesty of justice. Such strong condemnations from influential figures and human rights organizations underscore the gravity of the situation and the perceived injustice in Yunus's case. The broader concern extends beyond Yunus's case to the state of democracy and human rights in Bangladesh. The political environment, marked by increasing authoritarian, push and uh, steps taken by the government, and a crackdown on dissent, have also have raised questions about the independence of the judiciary and the ability of the citizens and media to operate in a free environment. Hasina's government has also been accused of weaponizing labor laws to suppress political opponents. Amnesty International, in its earlier statements, accused the government of using legal proceedings as a form of political retaliation against Yunus for his work and dissent. This raises significant doubts about the fairness of the legal system and the potential misuse of legal mechanisms for political purposes. The implication of Yunus's conviction also go beyond the personal plight of the Nobel laureate. They have far-reaching consequences for Bangladesh's reputation on the global stage, and of course, its internal political dynamics. The country is gearing up for a general election on January 7th, which is just 2 days away. And Yunus's case adds another layer of complexity to an already charged political atmosphere. The allegations and legal proceedings against Yunus have been numerous, and the timing, which coincides with the upcoming election, raises many, many questions about the motives and whether the government is just trying to curb and manage political dissent in the country. Yunus's role as a social activist, as an advocate for economic empowerment, places him at the intersection of international acclaim and also domestic recognition. The government's actions against him may be perceived as an attempt to suppress and discourage individuals from engaging in political activities that could challenge ruling parties' dominance. And I may say that Yunus is not just known in Bangladesh, or just not just because of the Nobel laureate. Grameen Bank is a model for many, many developing countries which have replicated this entire operation to help the poor, to make them set up businesses, alleviate their lives, improve their conditions. And it's really, really unfortunate that it has come to this pass. And therefore, Bangladesh needs to really take these cases back. These are frivolous charges. They and his legal team have time and again said that all the accusations that have been made actually stand no ground. And I think Sheikh Hasina should stop persecuting her political opponents, especially people of international recognition and those who have served their people and those who are doing good in the world. So today, this was my concern, and I wanted to share with you. I will be back again tomorrow with more news and stories and different views that I'd like to share through this platform.